Medieval castles, they rise from the landscape, these majestic structures of stone and timber. They conjure images of a time long gone. We imagine knights in shining armor, grand feasts, and epic battles. The reality of life within those forbidding walls, however, was far more complex. Castles were much more than romantic backdrops. They were centers of power, symbols of authority, and bustling communities. Join me now as we journey back in time. Let us explore the secrets hidden within these medieval marvels. The drawbridge lowers, we cross the moat and step inside. Prepare yourself, we are about to uncover the truth about life inside a medieval castle. Castles were not merely residences for kings and queens, they were fortresses. Their primary purpose was defense. Imagine a time of constant threat. Rival lords vied for land and power. Invading armies could appear on the horizon at any moment. A strong castle meant survival. It meant the protection of the people and resources within its walls. The massive stone walls, towering towers, and strategic locations were all carefully designed to withstand attack. These architectural elements spoke of strength. They declared the power of the Lord who commanded such a formidable stronghold. Imagine approaching a medieval castle. The sight is both awe-inspiring and intimidating. These fortresses were designed not just to be grand residences, but also to be impregnable strongholds. Every element of their construction had a purpose, primarily to deter and defeat any would-be attackers. The first obstacle, the moat. This wide, water-filled trench was the castle's first line of defense. This deep, water-filled ditch encircled the castle, preventing attackers from reaching the walls directly. The moat could be filled with water or left dry, depending on the castle's location and the resources available. In some cases, it was even stocked with fish, serving a dual purpose of defense and food supply. If the moat was crossed, the attackers would then face the outer curtain wall. This was no ordinary wall. It was a formidable barrier designed to withstand sieges and assaults. This was a high, thick wall punctuated by towers that provided flanking fire. The towers allowed defenders to shoot arrows or other projectiles at attackers from multiple angles, making it extremely difficult for them to find cover. Next came the gatehouse, the most heavily defended point of entry. This was the castle's main entrance and was designed to be a death trap for attackers. The gatehouse was a complex structure in itself. It was often equipped with multiple layers of defense to slow down and trap attackers. It incorporated a drawbridge, portcullis, a heavy iron grille, and the multiple murder holes. The drawbridge could be raised to prevent entry, while the portcullis could be dropped quickly to trap attackers in a confined space. Murder holes were openings through which defenders could rain down boiling oil, rocks, or arrows upon attackers. These holes were strategically placed to maximize the damage inflicted on the enemy. Even if attackers breached the gatehouse, they still faced a labyrinthine journey to the heart of the castle. The interior passageways were designed to confuse and disorient invaders. The defenders could exploit every twist and turn to their advantage. Narrow corridors, hidden rooms, and dead ends were all part of the castle's defensive strategy, making it a nightmare for any attacker to navigate. Life within a castle revolved around its central space, the ward. This open courtyard housed essential structures like the keep, the great hall, kitchens, stables, and workshops. The keep, the tallest and strongest structure, served as the lord's residence and the ultimate point of defense. It was self-contained, with its own well, food stores, and living quarters. The great hall was the heart of castle life. Here the lord held court, dined with his knights, and entertained guests. The hall was a grand space, often 2 stories high, with a massive fireplace at one end and a raised platform or dais at the other, where the lord's table was situated. Life inside a castle followed a strict routine dictated by the sun and the seasons. The rhythm of daily life was as predictable as the rising and setting of the sun, with each hour bringing its own set of tasks and responsibilities. The day began early with the sounding of the watch bell at dawn. This bell was not just a signal to wake up, but a call to action, marking the start of a new day filled with duties and obligations. Servants bustled about their tasks, lighting fires, preparing meals, and tending to the needs of the castle's inhabitants. The kitchens would come alive with the sounds of chopping, stirring, and the crackling of fires as the first meal of the day was prepared. the Lord and his family would break their fast in their private chambers. Their breakfast, often a more elaborate affair, might include meats, cheeses, and fresh bread accompanied by wine or ale. The commoners would eat a simple breakfast of bread and ale in the great hall. This communal meal was a time for the lower ranks to gather and prepare for the day's labor. The Lord would then attend to his duties. These responsibilities could range from managing the estate's finances to overseeing the work of his vassals and ensuring the security of his lands. He might hold court, meet with advisors, or go out hunting. Holding court was a significant part of his role, where disputes were settled and justice was administered. Hunting, on the other hand, was both a leisure activity and a means to provide food for the castle. The lady of the castle oversaw the running of the household, managing the servants and ensuring that stores were plentiful. Her role was crucial in maintaining the smooth operation of the castle, from the kitchens to the storerooms. Children, both noble and common, received their education within the castle walls, learning skills appropriate to their station. Noble children might be taught reading, writing, and the arts of chivalry, while common children learned practical skills that would serve them in their future roles. As the day drew to a close, the castle would gradually quiet down. The setting sun signaled the end of the day's activities, and the inhabitants would gather for the evening meal, reflecting on the day's events and preparing for the night ahead. A castle was a microcosm of medieval society with a strict social hierarchy. At the top resided the lord and his family, the elite who controlled the castle and the lands surrounding it. Below them were the knights, sworn to the lord's service, who provided military support in exchange for land and protection. Then came the men-at-arms, professional soldiers hired to bolster the castle's defences. The lower levels of the social order comprised the vast number of servants, artisans and labourers who kept the castle running smoothly. Cooks, blacksmiths, carpenters, grooms, maidservants and many others played essential roles in the daily life of the castle. They ensured that the needs of everyone within its walls were met. The contrast between the lives of the nobles and commoners was perhaps most evident at mealtimes. In the great hall, the lord and his guests feasted on lavish meals. Roasted meats, game birds, fresh fish, exotic spices, and fine wines graced their table. Entertainment, such as music, dancing, and storytelling, accompanied their lavish meals. Meanwhile, the common folk subsisted on a simpler diet of bread, cheese, porridge, and ale. Meat was a rare luxury, enjoyed primarily on special occasions. They ate in the great hall after the lord and his guests had finished. The influence of a castle extended far beyond its walls. The castle served as the administrative centre for the surrounding lands. From here, the lord collected taxes, dispensed justice, and maintained order. The castle provided protection not only for those living within its walls, but also for the people living in the surrounding villages and farms. In times of war or unrest, these people could seek refuge within the castle walls. The relationship between the castle and the surrounding community was symbiotic. The castle relied on the labor and resources of the people it protected. The people, in turn, relied on the castle for protection and economic opportunities. Today, medieval castles stand as silent sentinels, their towering structures a testament to the architectural prowess of a bygone era. These castles, often perched on hilltops or nestled in valleys, were once the epicenters of power and defense. They have witnessed countless battles, political intrigues, and the rise and fall of empires. They are reminders of a bygone era where life was governed by the sword and the shield. The weathered stones and ancient ruins tell stories of resilience and fortitude, of communities that thrived within their protective walls. Their crumbling walls and empty halls whisper tales of a time when life was often brutal and short. The echoes of footsteps in abandoned corridors remind us of the lives that once animated these spaces, from the noble lords and ladies to the humble servants and soldiers. Yet they also speak of human ingenuity, artistry, and the enduring quest for power and security. The intricate carvings and detailed architecture showcase the craftsmanship and artistic vision of the medieval builders, who transformed stone and mortar into symbols of strength and beauty. These architectural marvels continue to capture our imaginations, drawing visitors from around the world. The panoramic views and dramatic landscapes surrounding these castles add to their mystique, making them timeless icons of history. Transporting us back to a time of knights and chivalry, of lords and ladies, these castles serve as the perfect backdrop for historical reenactments and festivals. They bring to life the romance and valor of the medieval age, allowing us to experience a slice of history firsthand, and of the enduring allure of the medieval world. The bustling courtyards and grand banquet halls, now filled with tourists and history enthusiasts, once hosted feasts, celebrations, and important gatherings that shaped the course of history. As we leave the castle behind, we are reminded of the passage of time and the transient nature of human endeavors. The closing gates and fading silhouettes of these ancient structures evoke a sense of nostalgia and reflection. Let us carry with us a deeper understanding of the lives lived, the battles fought, and the sacrifices made within these walls. The reenactments and historical tours offer a glimpse into the past, enriching our appreciation of the complexities and challenges faced by those who came before us, and the stories told within those ancient walls. The tales of heroism, betrayal, love, and loss that have been passed down through generations continue to resonate, connecting us to a shared human heritage. The echoes of the past resonate within them, filling the empty rooms with a sense of history and mystery. The stone carvings and architectural details serve as silent witnesses to the passage of time and the enduring legacy of those who built and inhabited these castles, reminding us of the enduring power of history to fascinate and inspire. As we gaze upon these majestic structures, we are transported to a different era, where the past and present converge, and the stories of old continue to captivate our imaginations.